Hello, my name is Citrali, and for my project, I did Blind, Deaf, Mute Baking Challenge. The purpose of this project and or challenge is to show the importance of working together, learn how to communicate more effectively as a group, strengthen our group work skills, and learn patience because we will be learning and needing a lot of patience for my challenge that I chose for this project. The rundown or objectives I will be the rundown or objectives will be vision, like what this means is the visions I have for my project, problem solving and adaptation. This means what problems I had while working on my project and how I solved them or adapted to them. Leadership, this means the type of leadership style that I had while working on my project. Small group communications, how me and my group communicated throughout the project and what I liked about our communication. I'm going to be talking about vision and what my vision for my project was after I read you a quote that stood out to me about vision. Although it is very important for a leader to have a vision, it is equally important for a leader to be able to articulate, explain, and describe the vision to others. This quote was on page 166. The quote stuck out to me because, as the leader of my project, I tried my best to let my team members know what my vision for the project was, and I described it to them as best as I could so that we could all be basically on the same page and understand what the project was about and basically what I was trying to get out of the project and do for the project as well. So, my vision was to bake a dessert as a group while one is blind, the other is deaf, and the other is mute. The goals for my project and challenge were to learn how to work as a group, learn how to communicate with each other, and learn how to listen to each other, as well as patience. I want I wanted my group and my team members to learn patience because, like I said, for my challenge, a lot of patience is required. The challenge was we were going to have to bake a dessert while we had limitations we needed to work with. For example, like blind, mute, and deaf, that each one of us was going to have one. Even though we had limitations, we still needed to communicate with each other as best as possible. So we were really going to have to rely on one another to lead each other through the steps to make our dessert, for which this we decided for this we all decided on brownies because we all like brownies, but we were regardless of what we chose, we were all going to have to lean on each other to lead each other through the directions because we all had limitations and each one of us was going to play a special role in like basically explaining the directions or the instructions of how to bake the brownies to each other. Problem solving and adaptation. For this, I'm going to be talking about problems I ran into while working on my project. I'm going to talk about ways I solved them or adapted to them while working on the project and stuff like that. A quote that I chose for this section is problem solving skills refer to a leader's cognitive ability to take corrective action in a problem situation in order to meet desired objectives. And this quote was on page 108. This quote stuck out to me about problem solving because when I ran into a problem while working on my project, I took action so that I could fix the problem and meet my desired objectives. And I always try to solve the problem quickly so that I don't get set behind. A problem I did run into was when I was making my group because we all have, or like everybody that I know, we all have different things to do and things like work and school. It was difficult to kind of like be able to have people in my group who could actually meet consistently and work together. So it was a little difficult to see who could be in my group. I ended up thinking about people who had a similar routine like mine and would be willing to be a part of my project, or people who I thought would be comfortable participating in something like this. And I ended up finding people to help me, and basically, I solved my problem. And how I made my group was like I explained earlier, I looked at people that I know and looked to see who had a similar routine to mine. And I ended up asking the people who I thought would be most likely to be down to be a part of my project. And I ended up with three people, which was I was one of them, obviously. And then I ended up, so Citrali, me, Laura, and Sarai. And we ended up being a really good group. It was really fun. The style of leadership I think I had while working on my project was a democratic leadership because I tried my best to treat everyone fairly and try to do things in a way that works for everyone and not just me or a specific person. I didn't just think about what I liked, I made sure the rest of the people were involved as well. I didn't make the rest of the people just follow behind me because instead we communicated and I made sure to let them know I wanted them to feel comfortable to have an opinion and that their opinion was going to be heard. And basically, I just wanted them to feel comfortable sharing their opinions because I think that was just a better way of working together. And a quote that I found for this type of leadership in the book is democratic leaders treat followers as fully capable of doing work on their own, rather than controlling followers, trying hard to treat everyone fairly without putting themselves above followers. I think that when I read that quote in the book, I think that best described me as a leader because I really didn't want to be like, oh, I'm the leader, I make the rules and you just follow them. But instead, I feel like I really like the idea of everyone sharing opinions and everyone giving advice and everyone sharing thoughts. And that way we could all work together and come up with better ideas. And everyone would feel comfortable, so everyone would have fun and give their best work for the project. Small group communication. This is something I really liked in our group. Small group communication was something that really helped our group succeed in this challenge. We communicated over messages, but mainly in person since we do see each other. Like the people in my group and me see each other daily. Something I really liked about our small group communication is that we all listened to each other when we had something to say. Everyone's opinion mattered, and we all communicated in a way that made everyone feel comfortable in participating in the group, and no one felt left out or excluded or like their opinions didn't matter or anything because I feel like we really communicated well enough, and that is something that I like about us is that we all worked together and took into consideration everyone's feelings. So we all felt comfortable participating in the groups and we all listened to each other and everyone's opinions mattered and were taken into consideration. So I really liked the way we communicated. That was something I really liked. Um, so yeah, I think that is something really good about our group and something I enjoyed. Overall, I think I really liked how we all took into consideration what our opinions were, and we all communicated really respectfully as well. In conclusion, I ended up making a group. We all communicated effectively. As you can see, there are images of the process we had while making our brownies. You can see them down there. There's a picture of our ingredients when the batter was all mixed and in the baking pan, and the brownies in the oven, and then when the brownies were all made, we topped the brownies off with walnuts because we like walnuts. So overall, I think we did a good job and we had fun, which is what mattered, I think. And we completed the project, the challenge, and I think overall we all had a good time, specifically because we all communicated very well. So, yeah, we did a good job and we had fun. I really liked it. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.